This Saturday, 8 o'clock on Fox, we have the Big Ten championship between not only the number one and number two teams in their conference. No. Number one versus number two in the country. The Blue Bloods of college football and the defending national champions, Ohio State, plays one of the worst teams historically in college football. But things have changed. Kirk Cignetti has these boys rolling. They're number two in the country. They're 12-0, and times are changing. And this is one of the good examples that we can point to NIL and the transfer portal and say, this actually works. I'm going to dive into this game in just a second. First, welcome to the channel. If you love talking college football as much as I love talking about it, I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll pass it along to your friends on the forums, on Facebook, etc. I'm very close to 500 subscribers, so maybe you'll be one of the ones that knocks me on over. I won't stop you. Remember, subscribing is free, and I really do appreciate it. When I think about Indiana, I think about a basketball school. When I think about Ohio State, I think about a football school. And when I think about these two playing one another, historically, I think about a massacre where Ohio State wins by like about 40 points plus, and Indiana just walks off the field and there's nothing they can do about it. Then Kirk Cignetti enters the picture. Now, this guy had an unbelievable season last year. They went to Columbus in the regular season, and Ohio State dominated them. And everyone looked at Indiana and said, you know what? It's very impressive with what Cignetti did, but when they played Ohio State, we saw what happened. They went on to play in the first round of the college football playoff. They lost to Notre Dame. And it was a good season, but the question remained, was this a flash in the pan? I mean, it's happened before. No, it wasn't a flash in the pan. In fact, they're way better now than what they were last year. They're 12-0. They went to Oregon and beat Oregon by 10 points, and they didn't play a perfect game. It's hilarious. On the other side, I really don't even have to talk about them. They're the defending national champions. They're coming off of a win in the snow, beating the guys, the guys from up north, the team from up north, Michigan. Finally got that monkey off their back. And now the eyes of the country are on both of these teams. Again, this is not like Alabama and Georgia, where they've played several times in the championship game against one another or made championship appearances and won it against other teams. No, this is very different. Now, when you look at these quarterbacks, I mean, this is a tale of two different stories. Now, a lot of people forget that Julian Sayin actually enrolled at Alabama, but he never played a down of football there. He transferred to Ohio State. This guy right here, 3,000 yards, over 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. On the other side, you have Fernando Mendoza. This is a guy that was playing at Cal last year. No one was talking about him. He's thrown for 2,758 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Needless to say, the winner of the Heisman Trophy could very well be playing in this game. Then we can talk about the wide receivers on both sides of the football. Jeremiah Smith, I could stop there. Carnell Tate, I could stop there. Omar Cooper, I could stop there. I mean, Surratt, I could stop there. This is unbelievable. Then you go to the defensive lines for both of these teams. For Ohio State, you have Caden Curry with 9 sacks. That is ridiculous. Oh, you go to the other side. You have Hardy with 7. This is a really good game. And then when I look at the spread, and it's only a 4.5 point favorite for Ohio State. This is not like last year. No. So what really is the key to this game? Focus. This game is about focus and taking down by down and just not even really paying attention to the scoreboard and the time. I know that sounds weird, but what I mean is you can't get so enamored with the time. You need to become obsessed with every down. You are playing this down right now. The down that you just won on, it's over. Great, you won it. You have to win this one. I believe that's this type of game. I believe that with both of these quarterbacks coming in with such incredible numbers, with their running backs coming in with almost 1,000 yards each, with their wide receivers who are unbelievably talented, defense that can stop pretty much anyone in the country. I mean, again, Indiana did go to Oregon. They did win by 10 points, and no, they didn't play a perfect game. I mean, if the only way you're going to win is by playing a perfect game, you're probably going to lose. If the difference between your talent and your opposition is that far apart that you have to play perfect, you're going to lose. I don't believe that's going to be the case here. I think that both of these teams have a lot of talent across the board. The key is going to come down to focus. Now, Mendoza, we know that the guy can come in. He can throw the football. They were very close to losing against Penn State. Penn State came in and gave them their very best game. Mendoza chilled out and said, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and put the ball up to my playmakers. Julian Sayin, he has two of the best wide receivers in the game, and I think Jeremiah Smith may be one of the best wide receivers I've seen play the college game in the past 25 years of football, if not more. All he has to do is get the ball near them. At this level of football, the quarterback, yes, he needs to be accurate. Yes, there is times that his arm and his ability to throw the ball perfect, well, it will come down to that. But there's also that time when in a game like this where you have those incredible wide receivers where your number one job, just get the ball near them. They'll go up and get him. They will definitely go up and get it. And that's this game. Just put it near them. Make them make the play. Now, we could talk about like opponents. We could talk about who one beat versus the other. But this game is individual, all on its own. And I really believe that this game really defines the good that NIL and the transfer portal has given us. And I'm going to pause here. I know this probably is a topic for another video, but I want to say this, making this perfect clear. There are teams out there who has a lot of money, and they even have a history of winning, but their coaching staff, they may have some good coaches here and there, but their coaching staff, it's incomplete. Now, I don't think that about Ohio State. I think Ohio State's coaching staff is talented, and they are one of those teams who has a lot of money coming in. But on the other side, you have teams who they have donors pouring unimaginable amounts of money into the program, but they don't have an adequate coaching staff. And so what does their head coach, what will he do? He'll waddle up to a podium and tell the donors they need to pour more money into the program, and he's going to tell the fans to be more patient and to chill out. Meanwhile, it's his staff that can't coach. On the other hand, you have guys like Kirk Cignetti. Indiana doesn't have the money of Ohio State and some of the other schools. But what does Cignetti do? How has he made a lot of teams in college football overall? I'm not talking about just head-to-head. I'm talking about overall in the landscape of college football. Made them look bad. He and his staff, they know how to find the player they need, and they know how to scheme for it. And that's why I like this game. Because Cignetti, he's made a lot of people look bad. Oh, let me guess, you don't have enough money. Maybe it's just you can't coach as good as you think you can. Maybe your coaching staff's not as good as you think they are. That's why I like Indiana. Please forgive me, Ohio State fans, I want Indiana to win this game for that reason. I think it would be good to put everyone in college football on notice that, yes, NIL is fantastic and stuff, but if your coach cannot coach himself out of a wet paper sack with a tear in it, the donors don't need to give more. You need to get a different coach, or you need to get a different staff. I'm pulling for Indiana. I hope they win. I think Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship, and I think both teams end up in the college football playoff without a doubt. So that's what I think. Drop me a comment in the comment section. Let me know who you think wins. What do you think the difference will be? Where am I wrong? Where am I right? Where am I indifferent? Drop that in there. I hope you'll pass it along. Remember, if you subscribe,